Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am blue today for some reason. Also, I'm wearing my glasses because reasons. Welcome back to Duneske, where I've done literally some work and I've just realised I've got my nav speed set super low. There we go. You couldn't see me change the nav speed, but I guarantee you it was set too low. My webcam's set in the wrong place, I've just realised. There we go. Slightly less blue now, at least. So, what I have been doing is... Number one, I've swapped out all of the roads. I was using a different roads pack before, and it basically just wasn't what I wanted. So, oh yeah, I need to change this. Let's do that right now. Because I want to change this road to have a T-junction on it. I'm gonna do that in a minute. So what I have been doing is, you can see I've scribbled all over the map with different things, and yes, I have been using wheat to leave myself notes. So what I've done, if I just grab the street pack and dip it under the map real quick, there we go, is I have now selected that, which I don't want. I have got most of the main road in. I just need to change this one small part down here into a T-junction. I've started working on the laneways. That I'm going to have to up the clip distance on this, in fact. Clip distance I'm going to set on all the roads at 2500, so they'll be visible from 2.5 kilometers. And I've... oh dear. I may have to do some Photoshop work when it comes to making the PDA map. All these little scribbles. You're probably all wondering why with the scribbles. This is the laneway plan. I've decided to plan out my laneways because that kind of made sense to me. So you'll have one heading off across the map this way, down into the bottom corner, where it'll kind of branch out so you can get into every field from there. I'm going to try and get some wood chip sales and wood sales going on there, so that if you're doing this forest over here, you'll have to cross the bridge and go over here. This forestry area over here, going to be a bit easier to sell your wood and your wood chips. The plan is to have every field accessible from at least one lane, and try and get as many loops into the map as I can. So we'll have one lane going off up here like that. In reality, this is a little lane leading to a house with like a farmyard and stuff behind it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a second lane actually running along here that'll... I think it joins up here somewhere. Oh, it dead ends. Okay. Why do I have that dead ending? It's so that... oh, it's so that you can access this field and the BGA. So this yellow, you'll notice this is yellow and bright and colourful. This is going to be a railway line that's going to run through the map. And the original plan... and I don't think I really explained my plan too well, because Pedro said I should use the train from Chellington. I don't want to have this just a random animated train going around annoying everyone. I actually want to, and I'm going to have to go into Bjornholm and see how they've done this, or like another map, and see how it's done. I'm going to try, fingers crossed, try and get the Giant's train, the grain train, which means I can have a wood sales point over here somewhere. This is probably going to be the rail, some sort of rail station over here. I'm going to try and get the Giant's train running the length of the map and off over here. I know it's possible to get it to do curves because Giants did it in Sosnovka. So, in theory, my glasses are... I've got no eyes. In theory, I can get the train to run along this long curve. In practice, I'm not too sure. Also over here, I used asphalt from most of the road laneway planning, but over here to use over here I've used gravel because of the river. Something else that I've done, and I'm gonna have to come in really close down here, is I've flattened out the riverbed and made it quite shallow. Hopefully shallow enough. I haven't tested yet. The only testing I've done on this map is the original, just see if it'll work in game, which it does, or it did. I haven't checked yet. As you can see, there is one error here. That's not the error. This error here. This is just the sign I was using to get the roads in, which... Can I get rid of the sign at this point? I can get rid of the sign, so hopefully this won't break anything. So that's the sign gone. And the map saved. In just over a second. So... yeah, I've spent the better part of the week just working on this one road. And yes, I know that's... it's... you know, it's a small amount of the map, and I'm going to actually get this done now. How far does that look? I'm going to say 20 meters. So, street 20 meters, duplicate, cut, paste into the main road, Control-Shift copy, Control-Shift paste. And you'll notice there's a slight Z rotation here. Oh, yeah, that's... huh. Control-Shift copy. Control-Shift paste. And I'm going to have to get rid of the Z rotation. The reason there is a Z rotation is, if I lower down the nav speed again, I have to find out where it starts. 6 should be okay. 1.3... nope. Nope. Ah, it starts here. For whatever reason, and is it really because I put a curve with an X rotation? It's because I put a curve with an X rotation, it would curve... oh my god. I feel like such an idiot now. There is a... where's 10 there? There's plenty of space over that way. So that's where the phantom X rotation is coming from, is because or the Z rotation, is because I put an X rotation on a curve which will create a Z rotation. Which means that these two curves are going to have to go. I'm going to have to nudge this, I'm going to straighten it up and try and get a 10 or 15 degree curve. What's the smallest curve I can do? Or like something that'll suit. 20 I guess? 20 degree? I could do a 10 and a 5, that'll make it 15. So I have to do all my curves on a flat plane. And these guys are pointed down, aren't they? Yes. So I have to do -5, I guess. And because that's got an X rotation, that's going to have an even bigger... oh, it's got a negative X rotation, so that's reducing it. Okay, I literally spent about 3 hours trying to figure out how to get rid of the phantom Z rotation. And yeah, I've just discovered what's causing it, and now I'm gonna have to do some further troubleshooting. I guess I might as well do a bit of actual map making here. Where does it start? That's where it starts. There. So if I delete that, and put in a... Oh yeah. You can see my first attempt at getting... kind of trying to cover up the issues. So I tried to put asphalt underneath it, but it's a different looking thing. So Control D, Control X, Control V, Control Shift copy, and Control Shift paste, and I have to go to this again, Control Shift copy, and Control Shift paste. It's now 5. In fact, I need to copy the Y translation from there, and that'll make it wonky. Oh, yeah, because of the slope. So here's the absolute worst thing about doing roads, and it's kind of why I kept it off. Why I haven't made a video since the last update, and I'm gonna have to get rid of all this grass. I was using the grass to kind of indicate to myself that this area is locked in and ready to go, but now I've got to get rid of it all in this specific area anyway. So the absolute worst thing about doing roads is this, and if you watch David Oldfield, aka Disco, he has been working on his Oldfield farm in videos on Mondays, and that went together surprisingly quickly and surprisingly well. I think I'm getting the hang of this, so let's just smooth this out and see what we need to do here to get this looking pretty and in line, roughly in line. Okay, so let's just get that. It's just kind of rough work here. How does that look? Do the bit of smoothing there, this specific spot. I find that when you're doing roads, or at least this is the way that works for me, is if you use a kind of a quick flick onto the road when you're bringing up terrain and away from it when you're smoothing, it tends to work quite nicely. So if you notice, I'm just kind of flicking the terrain at the road, and if I just zoom in here, it tends to create reasonably nice looking hills. Sometimes you do have to, you know, do a bit of tapping about and faffing, but in general, the click and flick makes less bumpy terrain than if you're just kind of tapping away and hoping for the best, because you can smooth it out a bit and just get reasonably nice straight edges going on here. Because really, that's what I'm looking for here, is kind of the straightest edge I can get, or at least a believable looking bumpiness. Like this right here is a bit too bumpy for my liking, so I'm just gonna do a quick smooth there, quick smooth there, just smooth that a bit. That's that section of road in. So this is pretty much, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch the terrain, what is this brush called? Terrain foliage paint, and switch to grass, which is foliage channel 1, and 6 gives me fully grown grass, which I've memorized, by the way. It's like Giant Cedar is really dense to get your head around at first, But then once you start using it regularly, and I've been using it very regularly of late, that can do with being smoothed off a bit actually. So if I just remove this grass here and just smooth this a bit, that's better. I thought that was just a bit too close to the road there. And what I'll do later on is I will come along and clean all this up. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on with the terrain detail here? This has been what I've been doing for the past week and a half, or however long it's been. Yeah, week and a half roughly since I put up the last video. Is I have been just being a perfectionist. I've just been like, no, this isn't straight enough. No, this isn't curved enough. No, this needs more of a hill. This needs less of a hill. This needs to be flattened a bit. This, it's fun. It might not seem it to, you know, listen to me talk about it, but it is fun. I'm gonna just get rid of all the grass over here, la 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 la, and some of the grass over here. I'm just gonna get a bigger brush. The 2-inch brush will do nicely. Get rid of this happy little grass. Pull it all down. And that's the curve, so that needs to go as well. Luckily we can just duplicate this. And hopefully, by just moving it along one axis, it'll behave. And did I actually nail the... oh yeah, because I ripped the rotation off the curves that I had. Lovely! So here's where smoothing is actually really useful, is if you're lowering the edges of what used to be a curve. And I'm just kind of improvising my own methods here, because there's no set way of making a map. I mean, there is there's one really set way of starting a map, and that's figure out, are you going to do something that you're inventing yourself? Are you going to do something based on realism? Are you going to make some sort of weird funky hybrid? I'm doing the weird funky hybrid. All the fields are real and in the correct positions. This main road is real and mostly in the correct position. I have made some allowances. The laneways are all primarily fictional. Does this have a Z rotation as well? That does have a Z or an X rotation. Is it going downhill or is it trying to go flat? I wonder if I change this to a -5. What happens? So for closed curves, open up slopes. 50-meter slope of -5, please. Duplicate and cut. Paste it into the main road transform group here. And Control-Shift copy. Control-Shift paste. Control-Shift copy just takes all three and pastes them in nicely like that. Which is why I use Control-Shift. It's a bit easier and saves on a bit of work. What doesn't save on a bit of work is getting these two lined up as closely as possible. There we go. And as far as I'm aware, because this is like a 2.5 kilometer long stretch of road, as far as I'm aware, there are no flickering areas. And I've been like triple checking every single bit of road that I've done. Again with the click and flick. So it gives you a nice... Oops. That's bound to happen. It's kind of funny. I always looked at maps and thought, oh, this is really good. This is Because I had tried to make a map before. Yeah, I thought, oh, this is really good. This guy's really, really talented. Because, you know, map making is hard. Map making isn't hard, it's just... How am I going to try and say this? Map making isn't hard. Making a map is not hard. Getting the drive and patience and dedication to actually go from start to finish on a map, that's hard, because I've spent about 10 hours working on the roads alone, and I think that 5-degree slope gives me a nice flat area there. Yeah, so the 10-degree slope here can go. I can just scoot away, and I can work with what I've got now. So by using a 50-meter -5 slope here, what I've done is I've extended the hill slightly, and I'm going to bring this field out to just run along the edge of the road here. So I am modifying the fields from what they really are. I'm not going to say, oh, these fields are all perfectly correct in every single way. No, I'm modifying them. I'm taking inspiration from the area, sure. Most of the fields are going to remain as is. I'm just modifying the ones that are near the roadway, because the roadway has to go a certain way. Just because there's no like 2.5-degree slopes or no really shallow turns. I mean, the shallowest turn I can do is 5 degrees. Is it 5 degrees? Curves 30 meters. Yeah, 5 degrees over like 100 meters, which would never happen in Ireland. You get a 2-meter turn, 2-degree turn, and then it'll just be like, yep, you're slightly, you're going in a very slightly different direction now. And you know, Ireland turns over hills can't be done, unfortunately. As it turns out, they introduce phantom Z rotations that you just can't get rid of in Giants Editor. I'm sure I could if I actually made my own road model, but that's not something I'm willing to do right now. If I make more maps in the future, I might make my own custom roads. I might retexture these roads still, because I'm not too sure about the solid white lines on the edge. So if I move this over, get rid of the Z rotation, cause hopefully I have now solved it. I'm going to have to change that to a 20-degree right turn. It's curve 30-meter 20 right. There we go. Duplicate. Did I already duplicate one? Or did I double duplicate? So I got a 20 curve 30-meter 20 right. I already have one duplicated, okay. Cut that out. Paste that into the main transform group. And I'm just gonna plonk it down there like that. Take the Y translation from... Yeah, the Y translation from this. I think. Nope. So I'm gonna have to manually put this in. Okay, whoops. By the way, you can't see it, but my nav speed is set on 6 at the moment. I don't know what the upper limit is, and I don't know what the default is. I've been using reasonably small... If I'm like shooting across the map somewhere, I'll use 100 or something. But because I've been working on roads primarily, it's been set on like somewhere between 1 and 10 for a while, so I'm kind of getting more and more used to just going slowly. How's that doing now? That looks to be almost right. It's got a bit too much Y. Now it's got too little, I think. So that's open, that's closed. So yeah, get rid of like point or increase by 0.4, 0.04. Might need another 0.01. An extra 0.05, is that after causing a problem over here? Nope. So the aim here is just to close off all the gaps as much as I possibly can. Is this possibly a bit too high still? It is. Is that now perfect, or am I too low now? Too low. 0.035? Nope. 4? Nope. 3, 2, 1. Yep. And that's it. That's how I've been doing the roads. It's like, this is slightly too high, it's slightly too low, it's slightly too high. Okay, so I found the nice middle ground, and now I'm going to get it perfect. So, I wasn't actually planning on redoing the roads here. It's just after finding out, I was planning on actually doing some laneways, but now that I've found the source of the Z rotation, I figured I might as well fix the road system up, as well as getting a the T-junction is going to be at a funky angle. That means I'm going to have to turn the laneway almost immediately. Oh well. So I got, what do I have this set as? Oops. You can see my brush settings there, over here. Just have them set low so that I don't go making massive pits when I remove terrain. Like if I remove this bit over here, it's, you know, small little chunks. And similar when I'm increasing the terrain height. If you have it set too high, you'll just end up creating huge mountains and massive divots immediately. Whereas with this, I'm going to have to go out a bit further with this, I think. Just create a bit of a hill over here. So the fun thing about doing it this way is you end up kind of creating hills where there weren't hills before, just to try and get the road to look somewhat right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come over here a bit, here as well. I've created a big mound there, I've just realised. Yeah, that's a big mound. Smooth this off and see what happens. Okay, let's actually create a mound in here. Intentionally ruining this section over here, because if I smooth this down, lets me know where I need to work. So how's that looking now? No, it still needs a bit of smoothing in that specific area. So let's just increase over here. Just bring this back a bit. There we go. And now over to this side, which is way off the ground. We need a bigger brush. Okay, so let's go a bit extreme with this terrain modification here. And smooth it out so that it looks like a somewhat natural hill. Despite the fact that I'm introducing it myself, I want it to look somewhat natural and a bit weathered. I will be coming through later on and kind of putting funky marks in the terrain in areas, because right now the entire map is... Have I created 2 hills here or something? I must have created 2 hills. That could work nicely actually. Over here, by the way, I have no idea what I'm going to put here. This, you might be looking at the main farmyard or something at the moment. Only time will tell, because I have absolutely no plans set in stone for this map. Including release. I'll release as quickly as I can once it's done, but I do want to get it thoroughly tested, so that it might spend like a month in testing. Just because I don't want to release something and then have somebody say, like, the day that it's released, hey, I found this, your map's broken. Which would just be annoying. And this is going to be one of those maps where I realise I'm not looking directly at the camera, I'm looking slightly down. It's because that's kind of where... Okay, let's just get rid of the grass here that's stuck on the ground. And the grass over here that's probably stuck on the ground too. And let's get rid of that. Use the 20, oops, we'll use the 20 meter street that we have here. Gonna take the white from this, put it over here. That pops it up nicely out of the ground. And we can't use the Y rotation, unfortunately, because of reasons. I can get rid of the X rotation on that. Sneeze. And just maneuver this into place nicely. What's the 5747? And if I rotate to the... I'm gonna do something cheeky. If I rotate to the right, it's negative, so it's 37.47. I think. Should be the perfect angle for them to meet up. Yes. So any rotations to the right are negative, any rotations to the left are positive. That's useful information for the laneways. So again, I'm gonna have to do some terrain modifications over here. And my mother, one of my parents is home. Alright, so that ending was abrupt. My dad came home and I had a few things that needed to be done, and he needed to give me things and stuff like that. So family stuff. So yeah, I'm going to work on the roads and the road system and the laneways and all that kind of stuff over the next however long it takes. If you didn't guess already, this isn't going to be kind of a regular weekly thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to give updates when there are updates to be given. So thank you all very much for watching, and this is the shortest video I'll ever make. Like a minute, including the initial sound fiddling. Thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.